We're back here on Real Estate Savvy on Northwest Digital News. Kevin Hunter and Susan Wood here at the broadcast desk. We're going to talk about the 5 national trends impacting the real estate market in 2019. Let's kick it off, Susan, with the mobile first transactions.
Yes, that's the new trend.
Yeah.
So if you're out and you're looking for a home and you happen to be in a neighborhood, oftentimes you just pull up the app and it allows you to see all the other homes in that price range or in that area. Because a lot of times we want to buy within a certain area. So it's a great tool. I mean, even agents use them. So
for anybody who has, in real estate and really for any business for that matter, who is using a website for the communication, they definitely want to have everything mobile friendly, don't they?
I think so. I really do. It is, we always want to say it's a trend, but I don't think it's just a trend. I think it's just the way of life now. I mean, we all have a phone. We are all mobile. There's not very often you can't find somebody that doesn't have a cell phone or email, and those are very select few. Typically, they have a magazine on their lap as they're searching for homes.
When we look at the makeup of like all buyers, how long ago was it when the baby boomers were leading the pack, where they were the number one group of buyers?
I would say about 25 years ago.
About 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's not the case anymore. Who's number one now?
Millennials. Yay.
Millennials, yes.
Millennials, yeah. Yeah, they're a great group of people to work with. They are very tech savvy. They primarily would only prefer to deal with you via text or email. They don't really want to meet with you. And so as moving into the mobile side, when you have a website or something that allows you to do a complete walkthrough with a 360, those are great tools to have because it allows them to be in the home and not actually walk through it because they like to shop from home. So typically what they want to use us for is what I call the scratch and sniff. They want to know about the neighborhood and what the neighbors look like. They really don't want to go out and investigate it themselves. They just want the skinny on
somebody
it.
else to tell them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're coming to you because they're looking at you as a trusted source, and that's
absolutely
just what they want to do.
Yes.
All right. Number 2 is rising industry rates. What's going on with lender rates?
Well, I think that they're kind of stabilizing a little bit right now. We're at about a 5% overall. We've seen them go down, we've seen them go up, and right now we're just kind of stabilizing, but they are intended to go up. So it's still 5%. It's not too shabby for a home loan.
Yeah. So with all of this high-tech type shopping going on in there, I'm curious in the mortgage area, are there specific lenders that are leading the way with that, more of an online or mobile app user?
They are. There's Quicken, Navy Federal, USAA, I believe it's Veterans, help me out here, Veterans National. I apologize. So yeah, those are the ones that seem to be leading out that way. So what I've noticed more is you have local lenders who are really stepping their game up and getting mobile apps and trying to be a little more mobile friendly. Because I know that a few of the lenders that are used locally do have their own mobile apps where you just go online and you immediately apply for a loan. It'll tell you what your closing costs are going to be if you sign that day. So I notice they're really trying to get into that ballpark and that game, because if not, they're going to be left in the dust.
I know you've advocated a lot for using local lenders, but good lesson to them is get an online app.
Get an online app.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, so number 3, lower commission rates. A lot of people think commission rates are always going up.
They're not.
This has been one of your favorite subjects.
Yes. Well, oftentimes, you're right, they think they're going up. They started out at 7% 25 years ago, 7-8%. We're down to about 5%. Sometimes you'll see them 5, 6, or 7. But typically you're at 5% and 10% for vacant land. It takes a little bit longer to sell. So it is one of my more, I guess, heated topics, because like any person that goes to work, they go to work, They make a paycheck. They know what they're going to make. So when you sign an agreement with an agent and they say, okay, yes, I'm agreeing to pay you 5%, 2.5% to you, 2.5% to the other agent, that's a set agreement. And then when it comes down to it, they're like, well, we would like you to take less. It's like, would you show up to work and take less because they don't want to pay you as much? No.
Exactly.
No, it doesn't work like that. So it is a little bit of a conundrum for us because we work very hard for our money. I mean, you don't really see it because all you think we're doing now is showing homes. That's the easy part. The hard part is everything else that we have to go through to get the home sold. And it takes about 6 weeks. So for 6 weeks, we work for free.
And that commission goes a lot of different directions too, doesn't it?
Many different directions.
Yes.
Yeah. So just for heaven's sake, of $10,000 sounds like a lot, but when it comes down to it and it actually goes into my pocket, it is roughly about $2,400.
Wow.
So 6 weeks for $2,400 is less than minimum wage.
Yes.
So it is a little bit of a heated subject, and you have somebody who sells a home for $100,000 and it's 5%, that's $5,000, $2,500 goes to the buyer's agent, $2,500 goes to the selling agent, and then you have a $400,000 home at 5%. Well, that's $20,000. $10,000 goes to each side, and so they're like, well, I don't understand why I have to pay you more than the person that sold their home for $100,000. Well, as the properties increase in value, so does a lot of the legality and a lot of the paperwork and many other facets to go to along with that. A $100,000 home is a much easier sell, and typically cash, than a $400,000 home.
Understood. And then you also have this a different makeup of buyer as well and seller when you're dealing with those high-end homes.
Absolutely, you do. You know, without saying, every seller wants as much as they can for their home, and every buyer wants to pay as little as possible. So a lot of our job is keeping everybody off of the rails, you know, and making them understand. I understand that you want $400,000 for your home because your neighbor's home sold for $400,000, but the quality or the style of your home doesn't quite meet your neighbor's home.
A lot of different factors go into that.
There is.
Yeah, and then you might be in a neighborhood where, you know, a given house, you know, as you said, sold for $400,000. The person across the street may have a very similar kind of construction and stuff like that, but all of their preferences, all the things they put into the home over time could either have a significant effect on devaluing the house or potentially making it worth more as well. But your personal preferences you're exercising in your property can have an effect.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk about number 4, rising rental markets. This is actually due to a few different factors. What are they? So
your primary is your housing shortage. As we all know, there's a lot of people out there that either can't afford a home or can afford a home but have no home to buy. And it could be due to credit, it could do for how long they've been on their job, how much money they make, what their real financial story is. And so we are dealing with a housing crunch, whether you're buying, selling, or renting. So because of that, our rental rates have increased. Now people are saying, well, you know, my house once was worth $400, but now I can get $1,300 because that's the average rate. Well, that just tells me that partially that the rents were behind, but on the other side of it, if you're paying $1,300 a month, typically you could afford a home, but your credit is probably poor, or you know, you haven't been on your job very long, but we have programs out there for that.
You know, another thing I wanted to point out is this chart that Kyle just put up on the back screen here. The interesting part is that we look at these 2 grayed out areas are actually during times of recession. And here, I'll move over this way so you can see this one here. But if you look right here, both here and over here, the rental costs were actually still going up even during a bad economy time.
Right. Rents will always go up. I mean, it just is, it's like anything. It's like the loaf of bread that's going to go up from $1 when I was younger to, what is it, $5 now to buy a loaf of bread. So everything will always go up. It's not a bad thing to have rentals. It's a great thing, and I think that we need more rentals. I think we need more homes being built for rentals so that can kind of even out and it's not skyrocketing. And I know locally in the Portland, Oregon area, they have now put a cap on the rental rate.
Oh, they have?
They have. So, yeah, you know, I'm on the fence with that. You know, I think it's a good thing, but then I think it's a poor thing. If you buy a home, you should be able to charge what you want. It's your home.
Yep.
I don't think somebody should be able to regulate that.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody wants to pay you that, then so be it.
Right.
But the other side of it is we're also dealing with a huge homeless issue. So and part of that might be by choice, another part of it might be that they can't afford to rent a home.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very
kind of a touchy subject, isn't it?
It is.
Number 5 on the list is fluctuating inventory. A lot of different things contribute to this. What are they?
So as we spoke about the housing shortage, we have more buyers, we have less sellers, we have less homes to sell. So with all of that, it's just a fluctuation. We don't really know what to do. And when we deal with the fluctuation, what you get is people who have gotten all the use out of their home, we'll say, and they want top dollar. And they'll say, well, I want to sell it as is. It's like, well, that works in some cases, but either you got to know your market, you got to know who you're selling to. So if you're going to sell it as is, your home better be at an as is price.
Sure.
Or do those upgrades and sell it for a normal price. But because of the fluctuation of inventory, you know, you have people not knowing really what to do because, like we said, the neighbor's house across the way sold for top dollar, but yet we can't get top dollar for your home because it has many issues. So you have the choice of renting it and sucking the rest of the life out of the home if you want. But
because renting will definitely suck life out of the house.
All day long.
Yes.
And unfortunately, a lot of renters do not take care of the homes. And so if you're a person who doesn't take care of your home, and then you have a renter who doesn't take care of your home's going to quickly become dilapidated, and the county's going to get those nice little, you know, signs on your doors and windows saying that they're going to take your property if you don't clean it up.
So with inventory fluctuating, with housing shortage still being in effect, we did see some drop in the real estate market that's going back up again. Are we seeing a return of the bidding wars too?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It hasn't come full swing yet, but we're just cresting into spring. So spring, summertime, I would assume we're going to be right back once where we were, and it'll be the frustrated buyer, you know, and the seller is like, yay, I got more for my house. And then the other side of this is something I just dealt with. I had a very lovely home, and I was always concerned about the appraisal, so I actually ordered what we call a desk appraisal, and I paid for it, and it was shorter than what the seller wanted for their home, so we actually get into contract, and in fact, it was $38,000 short for their home. So they said, we want you to lower your commission because their home didn't sell for what they wanted, and they wanted the buyer to come in and make up the difference. And so with much maneuvering on everybody's part, we settled. We settled because they had to move. They were moving across country. But they were also wanting that bidding war, but they were at the top of their market. So you know, a lot of those things come into play, but we are back into the bidding wars.
Very good. Well, those are the top 5 trends coming into play here in the real estate market. Kevin Hunter with Susan Wood here on Real Estate Savvy. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
This concludes today's live programming on Northwest Digital News. Thanks for joining us for this special broadcast. Heard around the world in more than 70 countries on YouTube, Instagram, Patreon, Facebook, and Twitch TV. If you enjoyed a story or guest we had here on Northwest Digital News and would like to strut your stuff on the broadcast, email us today at wainfo2017@gmail.com or call or text to 360-545-3501. We're always interested in unique stories, topics, and guests to share with our worldwide audience. Before you go, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up and comment on the live stream. And for those of you who'd like to financially support the broadcast, you can do so at patreon.com/Northwest Digital News. We thank you for your patronage. On behalf of Chris Bornstead, Kyle Torgeson, Stephanie Hunter, and all the people that made this broadcast possible, I'm Kevin Hunter. Till next time, take care.